So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So we have our panel, and I would want to ask them to start with an introduction and tell us about their work as they engage young people for employment and entrepreneurship. So I will start with the managing director for your project.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I continue in French because it is easy for me. Yeah. Je suis Claude Arsène Savadogo, donc fondateur et directeur général de BioProtect. BioProtect est une entreprise qui travaille dans le domaine de l'agriculture biologique et de l'agroécologie et travaille avec beaucoup de jeunes sur les différentes chaînes de valeur de maraîchage agroécologique, que ce soit au niveau de la fourniture de services, donc l'encadrement des agriculteurs, le conseil, l'appui technique, le domaine de l'agrégation, donc agréger les différents produits des maraîchers, des agriculteurs, le domaine de la distribution, le domaine de la transformation. Donc il y a des emplois qui sont créés sur toutes ces chaînes, sur tous ces moyens de la chaîne de valeur, mais également des micro-entreprises qui se créent autour, notamment à travers ce que nous appelons les micro-franchises, qui sont de petites entreprises, de très petites entreprises, qui sont des entreprises satellitaires autour de BioProtect. Merci.
Bonjour, moi je réponds au nom de Kisensida David Armel Ouikongo, ingénieur en industrie agroalimentaire, présentement directeur général de la société agroalimentaire Namibie. Voilà, nous œuvrons dans la transformation de tous les produits dérivés du manioc. Voilà, donc sur toute la chaîne de valeur, nous avons posté des jeunes qui travaillent sous forme des unités satellites pour le fonctionnement de la dite entreprise.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Asiobe Biekro. I'm marketing partner for Rockland Farms. At Rockland Farms, we are an integrated poultry farm, and it's woman-led. Started 10 years ago, 2013. We do production. Our capacity now is about 100,000. We have outgrowers also to support production, and we have a feed milling component. We have the processing component as well. Our operations are based mainly in Kumasi, in the Ashanti region, and we distribute all over the country. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Akere Misi John Jimo from Nigeria. I'm a farmer by profession. I own a company, Joy Day Greenland Ventures, that deal with agrochemicals and also deal with farming majorly. And I train youths majorly how to farm, how to manage their farm, and how to get employed without being employed by government. Because the employment rate in our country unemployment rate is too high for the youth. So I take it as a point of responsibility to encourage the upcoming youth to find themselves in the green business. So I will be talking about my experience in this gathering. Thank you.
I would want to hear from the panelists your experience about working with young people and based on the partnership you have with ToScale, and to tell us about your experience working with young people and how this partnership have helped you to engage more youth and to create more employment in places where you are intervening.
Okay, so Rockland Farms, as I mentioned, started 10 years ago, and Edith Whitland, who is our CEO, started this with young people. And she always was passionate about helping young people also to get into poultry. But, you know, poultry is quite capital intensive. and it's not easy for young people to just enter and succeed. And so it was quite challenging. We tried as much as possible to employ young people. When you come, we have about 90% of the workers are young. But beyond that, there was so little we could do to integrate young people into our supply chains. And luckily in 2020, we met to scale. And that's where our story began to evolve. There wasn't any proven models that we could engage to integrate youth properly, especially young women. Two-Scale came and we realized a very good alignment between our vision and their objectives, and so we embraced them. They gave us a dedicated business advisor, and we've been involved in a couple of projects. We've never really had this kind of support before, where you have facilitation at multi-levels. I mean, you need capacity building in this area. It is there. The advisor is able to figure it out. They support you. They actually hold your hands sometimes. They give you the training sometimes, and then they advise you. They are always there with you. And this is amazing. I want to say a big thank you to the Two-Scale team. So we were about on two levels. That's when we realized our impact. So the organization's operations itself increased, and then job creation, entrepreneurial skills for young people, also we realized that objective. So the first one, we were about 65,000 beds. That was our capacity when we met Two-Scale. Now we are over 100,000. We were struggling to come out with our product, locally produced chicken. And you know the story in Ghana. It's not easy to come out on a commercial basis to produce locally produced chicken because the market is just not there. But Two-Scale held our hands. They provided the support to brand the products. They helped in developing the pre-cuts. Often we realize that when you do pre-cuts, you wouldn't have market for certain specific portions. But with the kind of support they gave, with the packaging, the branding, always innovating, we hit the market, we get feedback, we come back and sit down, we say, okay, how do we sell legs? How do we sell quarters? How do we sell bags? And with Two-Scale with us all the time, we went back to the drawing table, made new designs. In fact, we are outdoing our new 1 kilo packed chicken this month on the 24th in Kumasi, and thanks to Two-Scale. Because we went to the market, we realized that some of the parts were not moving, and so we came back, we realized that, look, if you do 1 kilo, a mother is able to pick it, get to the kitchen and use it, instead of one whole carton. And it's been tremendous. It's really, really been tremendous. One of the things they also did to target the youth was coming out with specific programs. We had issues training. Initially, we were training a few of the graduates, and then we employed them. But going beyond that was a real challenge. So when Two-Scale came with their support, we were able to come up with a youth in poultry program. And this targeted specifically the youth, giving them input, training, capacity building, some labor-saving equipment and all that, and helping them to produce. Once they produce, we have ready market for them, because now we are able to distribute. We have a large distributor in Accra, and so once that happens, they produce, we have ready market for them, and this is creating incomes for the young people. What is key is that there are about 200 young people around the place we work, in the community alone, that come to do processing, that go for grilling services, catering services with our chicken. We provide them with the chicken. They go for events like funerals, weddings, and so on. And then they do catering with our products. And this is really creating some alternative incomes for them. There are quite a number of them. I think as we go along, we would mention a lot more. There are also those targeted with very low incomes where they can store our meat and then sell in the community. Instead of in Accra, you would have cold stores that are taking huge volumes, but in the communities you need, say, 5 packs. Somebody can store 5 packs in their fridge and sell. So those who have light equipment, freezing equipment, we engage them as well, and this is also generating income for the people in the rural areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Why agriculture? My own story. I would like to use my slide, but as much as no time. I come to realize that food is very sacrosanct, very important in human life, and there is no way we can live without food. That was the reason I ventured into agriculture, to solve problems. So, with the look of unemployment rate in my own area, even across the world, I ventured into agriculture in the year 2020 after several years of joblessness. So after the pandemic, I detected that it is only the farmers that find somewhere to go. So after the pandemic, I ventured into farming, majorly on vegetables. But with the help of two scales, they brought about some initiatives by using hybrid tomatoes, cucumber, and so on. So these have really helped the farmers around my place, because in Nigeria, the vegetable farms is only being practiced in the northern side, whereas those people at the western and the southern, they think their land is not good for the plants. But through the initiative of two scales, they let us know that it can grow, even very well more than the place that is being grown before. These are really helped a lot of youths in the area, whereas some of them that thinks they cannot make it, but with the help of two scale, we are now millionaires, majorly the young ones. So the food security, it helps us to have good and reliable products, which is our vegetables, tomatoes, and so. And our initiative, the challenges that we are facing over there, we have high initial capital investment. To venture into our business, we are going to have a lot of capitals, especially to purchase or rent lands, to buy irrigation materials like drips and so on. So, two scales have helped us to secure some of these materials that relieves the youth to venture into the system, to the farming system. So, also they have let us know the role of the middleman. They make most of us to be input managers. So like now we're being trained how to administer chemicals to our farmers. So this creates an employment for those that cannot go to the farm. So this has really helped us a lot. Moving against the tides, raising and selling of seedlings. They teach us how to raise seedlings, that we can even make more money without going to farm by raising seedlings, by our local made greenhouses. Some people, they also gave us some foreign greenhouse, which we use to nurse our hybrid seeds and really help us in our production. Also, the success story that we have able to acquire, the use of local made greenhouses for For those that cannot afford the foreign one, it is easy for you to get the local made that will help you in your production. Personally, I expanded from 0.3 hectares in 2020 to about 2 hectares in 2023. That is my income. My farm size have increased tremendously through the help of two skills. Also, mitigation of negative of middlemen in the supply chain by building connection with traders for direct sales. I personally went to my 12, the quarter plate my 12 in our country. That is the highest vegetable market. We make negotiations there. I help my colleagues, the youth farmers, to aggregate their produce and take it to the best market where they can make more income than the normal places. Utilizing irrigation to combat the challenges of seasonal farming. This has really helped us in our place because we have two major seasons, the rainy and the wet season. By using the irrigation system through the help of two scales, this has really helped us to farm across the year. So it increases our productivity. Also, they teach us how to install it. We teach farmers by collecting just stipends from them and just to assist them, especially the young farmers. Providing technical advice to farmers on right of agrochemical through trainings and farm visits in order to reduce the negative environmental impact. Also, this initiative have really helped me a lot, and I've been able to train more than 200 youths to use the hybrid seeds and to come into farming because it's productive and we have been making a lot of income from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You've had the experiences from our panelists, and I would want to have a follow-up question, which is looking at now how you see the role of youth and the engagement as you look at growth of your company, and you want to achieve and you want to enter new markets. How do you see the role of young people helping you to achieve that?
Merci. Alors, tout comme ce qu'il disait, le rôle des jeunes est primordial pour l'atteinte des objectifs des entreprises. Pourquoi? D'abord, à l'issue des formations qu'ils ont reçues, que ce soit sur le plan de renforcement de capacités techniques pour pouvoir accompagner les agriculteurs, donc les agriculteurs qui ont des compétences techniques renforcées permettent justement d'augmenter la productivité. La productivité augmentant permet de réduire les coûts et d'être beaucoup plus compétitifs sur les marchés. Donc ça c'est un rôle important que les jeunes jouent justement, et nous on le constate dans le partenariat au niveau de Bioprotect, on le constate. Quand on voit des rendements par exemple de tomates qui passent de 15 tonnes en organique à une trentaine de tonnes en organique, alors que le conventionnel n'arrive pas à faire autant, ce sont des preuves palpables qu'en formant des jeunes qui restent auprès des agriculteurs, on arrive à faire des merveilles. Quand tu prends le marketing digital, où justement par les campagnes de boost, cette proximité, ces dizaines, ces dessins qui sont faits pour communiquer quotidiennement avec les consommateurs et que ça augmente justement les volumes d'achat, les jeunes permettent justement d'atteindre des résultats assez tangibles. Voilà. Mais comme
je pense que je dois interrompre un peu, comme il y a des collègues qui ne parviennent pas à suivre en français, peut-être que je vais traduire directement. Donc, est-ce que vous pouvez, en résumé, donc parler de répéter ce que vous venez de parler, comme ça je vais traduire directement.
Bien. Je disais que l'engagement des jeunes permet justement d'atteindre des résultats assez extraordinaires.
The engagement of young people is helping his company to have very good results.
Déjà, au niveau terrain, l'appui technique avec les producteurs permet d'augmenter les rendements et par ricochet être beaucoup plus compétitif parce que les prix deviennent meilleurs.
Already in the field, when they engage young people, they are able to increase the productivity and by so doing reduce the cost of production because they can be able now to become more competitive.
Quand je prends notre modèle économique qui est de faire des produits biologiques, des produits accessibles au prix, cet engagement des jeunes permet justement de réduire les coûts de production au maximum. Donc ce qui fait que les classes les moins aisées ont la possibilité de manger sain à des coûts vraiment accessibles.
So this model is also helping them to engage young people, for instance, to help them to reach out to base of the pyramid consumers or low-income earners. And by so doing, they are facilitating the food access to even low-income earners.
Quand je prends au niveau de la production des intrants, par exemple, les recherches, les jeunes sont friands des nouvelles technologies, d'Internet, donc on peut rechercher pour savoir ce qui se passe ailleurs. Cela nous a permis d'améliorer la qualité des produits, de mettre de nouveaux produits sur le marché, de jouer sur le packaging en fait, pour concurrencer avec les intrants qui sont importés d'ailleurs.
So young people are contributing, especially using the digital tools. They are contributing to the innovation of the company as they are finding other way of doing things. Then they communicate it to the company, and it helps the company to adapt some of the packaging, some of the products that they are putting on the market.
Côté commercialisation en relation avec le client final, les jeunes sur Facebook, ils peuvent discuter avec un client jusqu'à minuit, 1h, 2h du matin, faire des campagnes de communication, des campagnes de boost. En fait, ça également, ça tire la consommation des consommateurs qui sont satisfaits parce qu'ils envoient un message. La seconde qui suit, ils sont répondus. Donc, en fait, il y a cet humanisme, en fait, et la personne a l'impression de parler en vrai, pas comme qu'il parle à travers d'un téléphone, mais parler en vrai seulement parce qu'il y a des jeunes qui aiment cela et qui utilisent le digital pour justement booster les ventes. Et là, ça se dessine également sur nos chiffres d'affaires quand on le voit avant le partenariat et maintenant, avant les formations sur le boost, sur les campagnes de communication digitale et maintenant, la différence elle est quand même extraordinaire.
So he's also alluding around the fact that young people are resilient and they can take extra hours because they're passionate to communicate to clients, and those clients can be able to find products of the company even for during the late hours in the night, and that is also contributing to the company turnover. Because if we compare when the partnership started and the results they have now, is like this is wonders.
Maintenant, pour garder ce niveau d'engagement avec les jeunes, il faut avoir une seule parole. Donc, il faut être honnête dans ce qu'on fait avec eux, dans ce qu'on dit avec eux, et de respecter ses engagements. Parce qu'une fois que le doute s'installe, la démotivation vient et justement, vous partez droit dans le mur.
He's saying when you work with young people, you need to be direct and communicate clearly. Because when there's doubt or there's a misinformation, so then there's a loss of trust, which is not good for business.
Donc, pour garder cet engagement, il faut dire ce qu'on fait et faire ce qu'on dit.
For you to have this continued engagement, you need to stick on what you've said and continue to stick on that. Thank you. Et donc de David aussi, on va nous parler de comment tu vois l'engagement des jeunes et comment ça contribue à l'entreprise Nanalim de continuer à entrer dans les nouveaux marchés.
Ok, merci bien. Et je peux dire que maintenant nous sommes dans le monde de la digitalisation parce que la jeunesse a vraiment œuvré pour le peuple manioc, si je peux le dire. Parce qu'auparavant, les gens, la production n'était pas en très grande quantité.
This is a digital era, and for the cassava value chain, they have benefited. So because now with the production, they are being able now to engage young people around the production.
Ok, parce que au niveau de la production, il y a des jeunes qui se sont engagés personnellement pour faire la production du manioc. Donc ils ont pris des superficies, ils ont reçu des formations pour pouvoir pouvoir faire la production du manioc. De 2020 en 2021, ça a vraiment exposé que la jeunesse a intégré, ils ont épousé l'idée de pouvoir propulser le manioc parce qu'ils ont vu que le produit a été introduit dans les cantines scolaires de Burkina.
From 2020, they have seen an increase of young people participating in the cassava production. And that is due to the fact that there were introduction of cassava products in schools, mills, and that has contributed to the company growth and the young people engagement.
Voilà, comme le nom le dit, Nana Cheke. Nana Cheke, ça signifie produit accessible à tout le monde, à moindre coût. Ça dit, nous avons songé un peu au BOP et puis au pop.
They have a product called Nana Cheke, and that is the meaning of that product is that it comes at a cheaper price, but also with good quality.
Voilà, pour ce sens, et volet vente, la jeunesse s'est initiée sur le commerce digital. À l'heure actuelle, ce sont des commandes qui viennent en ligne. Voilà, que l'entreprise arrive facilement à écouler les différents produits. Parce qu'ils voient que c'est la jeunesse qui est derrière l'activité.
So with the digitalization or the e-commerce, young people are now using these tools to sell online, and they have orders that are coming from people online, and this is new in their operations because in the past they didn't used to do that.
C'est comme M. Sawadongo l'a dit, nous sommes des partenaires parce qu'avec la nouvelle formulation que j'ai mis en place, ça a engendré encore beaucoup d'employabilité au niveau de la jeunesse. Parce que les gens, ils voulaient voir l'idée d'abord. Maintenant, comme ils ont vu que le produit est consommé, le produit est aimé, donc ils se sont intégrés.
With the managing director, who is also a young person, but who is also a food scientist, he brought new technologies to the company, and now the quality has improved, and they have so many clients because of that.
Voilà, dans ce sens également pour l'utilisation de nos eaux usées, parce que sans on fait la transformation, il y aura des eaux usées qui vont issues de la transformation. Pour ça, nous avons pris d'autres technologies pour pouvoir transformer en biodigesteur, pour pouvoir redistribuer dans nos différents circuits, pour nous faciliter un peu la tâche, parce que au Burkina Faso, la consommation du gaz est excessive, donc il faut qu'on réduise au maximum.
There's a new other innovation that they came up with that is looking at company waste management, and from there they are recycling the waste so that they can be able to use some of this waste for soil fertility and other usage.
Voilà, c'est comme vous le savez à l'heure actuelle, et c'est la nouvelle génération qui tient le flambeau du Burkina Faso. Pour ça, chaque personne, chaque Burkinabé, chaque jeune a sa responsabilité. Là où il doit être engagé, il doit se mettre à fond pour pouvoir travailler pour le pays.
There is a new move, new young people move in Burkina Faso, and each one of the young people is ready and needs to put in his hand and work with the other people to develop their country. Thank you.
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, I think that we've really gone beyond the question of recruitment of young people.
Comme il a dit auparavant, il va aller au-delà du recrutement seulement des jeunes.
Lots of the employees now are young, and with the help of Two-Skill, targeting the young people with specific programs, we are now looking beyond that. How do we help them to commercialize? How do we help them to operate not depending directly on the company. And so things like the grilling services that we produce, we do, we are looking at how do we help them set up their own sport.
C'est-à-dire que la majeure partie des employés de l'entreprise sont jeunes, mais ils pensent que c'est mieux aussi d'encourager les jeunes de continuer à renforcer leurs capacités de façon qu'ils soient indépendants et être en mesure donc d'être libres de travailler eux-mêmes. Donc du coup, ils mettent en place des systèmes et des structures de soutien qui les aident à être indépendants.
Yes, so initially the main challenge we had, which is to say that without support, at this point, we are able to maintain all the employees we have and even employ more. Why? Because initially we had the challenge, the market access challenge, where we couldn't get the right fit of product, which is the local chicken, for the market. But with support, now that has been solved.
C'est-à-dire qu'auparavant, il y avait des défis, surtout pour trouver des produits qui sont appropriés au marché. Mais pour le moment, ça a été résolu. Et donc, comme ils avaient un défi de pouvoir maintenir le personnel et engager encore, donc comme ça, avec l'appui du programme, comme ça a été résolu, donc ils pensent que ce défi n'est plus là.
Yeah, so with this bottleneck done away with, it's really opened up the market for us. And with the market opened up, now production is affected, processing is affected, and then that is where we have lots more of the young people coming in.
C'est-à-dire qu'avec l'augmentation de la production et avec l'augmentation du marché, donc ça a joué sur l'engagement et puis le recrutement de beaucoup de jeunes sur les différents segments de leurs opérations.
Yeah, so with the ability to sell more, we maintain employees, we are able to support more young people. Not only the poultry production itself, but with maize production as well, because we have a feed mill. So there's maize production also working. We had about 5,000 outgrowers. With support, we now have about 9,000. With that also, we are looking at sustainability when it comes to financing. And so we have in place the village savings and loans groups, which most of these outgrowers are part of. This year alone, they were able to contribute 2 million Ghana cedis, which is about over $170,000, just the village savings and loans. And the young people contributed $80,000.
C'est-à-dire qu'il y a aussi la contribution donc, de la jeunesse qui, par exemple, dans les organes d'épargne et de crédit, nous ont pu contribuer $80,000 et ne se fait que cette année.
Yes, so with this, funding is able to go around, micro lending is able to take effect, and then we are able to sustain this program beyond the support. We are not saying we don't need support at this point. We are still actively seeking partnerships that can help us even expand the scope that we have now, because we've learned, we've not only been kind of taken to this point, we've actually been taken through series of modules from which we have learned and gotten here. And so with this capacity, we are able to employ more. With this capacity, we are able to engage the young people more. We need to tweak some of the models a bit so that where some of the young people are dependent on us financially, we are able to wean them off ourselves and make sure that they stand and and they are able to go commercially viable, and this is really, really possible.
C'est-à-dire qu'ils pensent qu'ils ont besoin de continuer à faire les partenariats, mais comme ils ont appris de beaucoup de modèles et aussi d'autres façons de faire, et ils pensent qu'ils vont continuer à s'améliorer et puis à continuer cet engagement.
Yeah, so conclusively, I would say that to scale has made us really impactful.
Pour conclure, il dit que tout ce qui les a aidés à faire plus d'impact.
Particularly in the rural areas that we operate in.
Et spécifiquement dans les zones rurales, là où ils opèrent.
There is a project that they helped us to engage some of the youth with. It's called Youth Service Gang.
Il y a un service qui les aide aussi à engager les jeunes et ça s'appelle Youth Service Gang.
Now these are young people who are trained to provide services to the clusters of maize farmers.
C'est-à-dire que c'est des groupes de jeunes qui donnent des services aux producteurs du maïs.
From land preparation, spraying, everything that's needed for the farmers to be comfortable and then have convenient services. They've been trained, they've been given light equipment and all that.
C'est-à-dire que ces jeunes s'organisent pour donner les services aux producteurs de maïs et donc ils continuent à engager avec les producteurs.
Yes, and some of those young people have also, through this, gone to school, tertiary institutions, used the money, gained incomes to go to school. Some of them are here today. I think Maxwell is somewhere.
Donc c'est-à-dire qu'il y a ces jeunes
It's one of our young people who are providing services for farmers. And
il y a ces jeunes qui ont continué à donner des services aux producteurs et puis ça les a permis de continuer leurs études.
And I'm sure we'll hear from him later. So, concluding, I will say that they have developed us inclusively. To scale is not just to scale, but it is inclusive scaling. They build inclusive market and production systems. That's what they've done with us. And today, if we are impacting almost every government program wants Rockland. Why? Because we are impacting the youth. We are touching them in a way that we've never really imagined. I want to say a very big thank you to our partners. We will continue to do whatever we can in Ghana to advance the youth.
So now we hear from John. John, in the interest of time, in 2 minutes, can you tell us what is your next step and how you see your engagement with young people as you want to expand and reach new markets?
Thank you very much. My role to help and assist the youths in my community right now, they have been highlighted before. But I'm trying to work with some organizations to give us more equipment, because what scares most of those youth is that how do I get this, how do I get this, how do I get my farm? Because the best time to make more profits in the business is during the dry season. So these have been a great challenges to secure or to procure those equipment that will help in their production.
So you mean you are seeking for other partnership to grow your business?
Exactly. Though Tuskin have been doing more because they have brought some solar irrigations to our place. Those things are not circulating, so we still need more partnership. If they have more machineries, it will help in the productivities.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, with this you've heard from our panelists, from their different experiences and what they have been able to achieve through this public-private partnership they have with to scale. And with that, I can conclude this session because of our time, and be able to invite the panelists to go back in their places. Thank you very much. 100,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this, I invite our second panel panelist, and I will ask them to present themselves, to introduce themselves, and tell us about what is their work and how they are engaging the young people. And as you can see, themselves also are youth, and we wanted to share about how young people are serving other youth and how they are helping to create employment and entrepreneurship.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Salome. I work with TwoScale in agribusiness cluster development. And as we've had the discussions going on, TwoScale is a program that supports business champions. And these business champions include SMEs and farmer groups. And they're supported towards producing, transforming, and processing commodities. And the model of TwoScale works with a model of what we call agribusiness clusters. And these agribusiness clusters are multi-actor network of actors, different actors who come together to seek solutions to their production or marketing challenges, as well as develop collective competitiveness. And within these agribusiness clusters, we have input providers, we have farmers, we have service providers, we have enablers like the government. So all these work together towards seeking solutions to production. It could be marketing or improving their collective competitiveness. And within these agribusiness clusters, we engage young people. And these young people are engaged in different activities, in service provision, for example, and building sustainable enterprises. And the youth, the capacity building for youth is done to ensure that they are well equipped in providing these services. And some of the services that they provide within these clusters, just to mention a few, we have silage making, we have input distribution, we have value addition, we also have transport distribution. There are various activities that the young people are engaging within the value chains. So the role of TwoScale is working with these business champions, and also within these agribusiness clusters, we have agribusiness cluster coaches. And we also have business support services. So all these support in capacity building for the young people. And we also support with linkages for these young people. We link them with different input distributors, different actors. We also have financial linkages to ensure that once these enterprises or service provision services are established, they are sustainable, and these young people are able to make money from these businesses. And we also do continuous tracking to assess further needs that need development or further needs for these young people, which will help them build enterprises that will go beyond not just the TwoScale intervention phase, but even beyond that.
Good afternoon. I'm Lilian Zilani, working in TwoScale in gender inclusion and women economic empowerment. And in my field, I've been able to work with young women and men in the aspect of gender inclusion in inclusive agribusiness in Kenya. So in my experience of working with young men and women, different initiatives have been able to come up, what is working and what is not working. And just as my colleague has mentioned, one thing which is very important, gender inclusion and women economic empowerment, as well as youth inclusion, it's you can't do it alone. TwoScale cannot do it alone. There's need for partnerships, which we are here to discuss about. There's need to put our hands together to work with the financial institutions, to work with the business champions who are just seated here, and to be able to come up to see how we can involve these young people in our society in improving the aspect of food security or the agribusiness in our countries. So how are we working together? There's someone just in the other panel or the other house asked, we are here talking about advocacy. What are we really doing? That's what I'm here to say. we are here to create partnerships. You can't do it alone. We need to, as the Rockland fella who was just here mentioned, that youth are such a special group of people that it is not a blanket that you can't just advocate to say the way the elder people are working the same way we're going to work with the youth. What is it that can work for the youth? There's aspect of creating job opportunities, but how are we creating these job opportunities for the youth? They need to be capacity built with the partners or working together, working in the government institutions, the research institutions, to help them grow their skills, to grow their development aspect in agribusiness, to be able to make them very strong in the aspect of agribusiness in Africa. Looking at a different aspect, working with the young women and youth, mentorship is very key. We are looking at the future, but we have the elders in the city, right? How can they be able to share this knowledge they have to the young people? In as much, I know we young people have much more of, I don't like getting tired. This agribusiness man is not working for me. But how can we as the elders, to show them how powerful agribusiness is for our continent and how they can be involved, or how we are creating these job opportunities. So mentorship, it is our work to show, even I am a youth, to show the other youth, I'm working in agribusiness. It is working. Even for you to put yourself on the same platter of inclusive agribusiness, you're on the right space to, as a youth, right? So that is one, some of the few things I've seen working very well in two-scale, working with the partners, ensuring this building of these skills among them, and even mentoring them to show them how important it is to be part of inclusion. As we say in two-scale, inclusion is not leaving anyone behind, and we ain't leaving the youth as well. Thank you.
Donc, la question c'était dans votre présentation, qu'est-ce que vous faites et comment tu travailles avec les jeunes, et toi-même en tant que jeune, qu'est-ce que tu fais un peu de mots?
Je suis le promoteur de la société SAR Jukisa, spécialisée dans la production et transformation du culture fourrage vert en ensilage. Donc, je travaille avec tout ce que et mon partenaire. Notre objectif est d'accroître la productivité des éleveurs et améliorer leurs conditions de vie. La difficulté qui m'a poussé d'aller vers le culture fourrage en Afrique, surtout au Mali, la problématique confrontée aux bovins du Mali, la diminution du pâturage naturel dû au changement climatique, la rareté des pluies aussi, la diminution des jeunes pâturages due à l'urbanisation qui m'a poussé d'aller vers le culture fourrage.
So from what he said is that he's working, he's from Mali, and he's working on further production, especially some of the reason or some of the issues that pushed him to start his enterprise, his business, was the fact that there were lack of fodder for animals, and also due to the climatic change. He was concerned and wanted to do something about it, but also is that he wanted to increase the productivity of dairy producers in Mali. So that is what pushed him to start his enterprise. And with that, Salome, can you, for instance, share with the audience your experience, for instance, when you engage young people for the services, and how digitally, how they are connected digitally for employment and entrepreneurship.
So in terms of engaging the young people in these opportunities, we have different activities that are engaged in. For example, we have one of them in the room here who does silage making. So Richard, you can say hi to them, to the people. So he does silage making, he works with the dairy partnership, and the need was identified for providing these services to the farmers because it's something that they really need to improve the productivity of milk in their farms. So the young people were trained on silage making, and it's something that they have been doing within their clusters. And not only in dairy, we also have other activities that are engaged in. We have input distribution. We also have youth who are in the soybean value chain. They are doing value addition, and there are other different activities that they are doing. And these youth also have been able to come together and do peer-to-peer learning through the one of the platforms we have, like the Youth Digital Platform. And recently they also came together for a networking session with other youth so that they can be challenged, or they can challenge each other to continue with enterprise development and also diversify whatever activity they're engaged in. So in terms of how they network, there are different ways in which they interact. For example, we have groups that they have formed within their agribusiness clusters. We have also groups that they liaise with on WhatsApp. We also have a youth digital platform which will showcase as we go along. We have the youth digital platform where the young people are onboarded. It's a platform where they can build their skills on business development, green innovations. We have customer service and different other capacity building sessions that are available on that platform. They are also able to interact through this platform. They can share their experiences, what they are doing, what they are engaging in. And through this platform, they can also be able to meet other people from other countries. They can also be able to trade with people from different countries using the digital platform. And it's as well a platform which has different topics. You can also check it out and interact with it. And it's going to help even those ones who are in working with young people to build their skills and also for networking purposes.
So Lillian, can you tell us about your experience, especially when you engage with young female entrepreneurs, and tell us a little bit about that experience and how you support them around them navigating all the challenges that comes with establishing a new business, growing it, and also networking with other business actors in the areas where you work.
Thank you, Theo. Working with the young women has interesting and exciting experience. For instance, a very good example you've given when they're starting. I'll talk about the gender barriers or the women barriers they will face, even the young women. So there is aspect of starting the business from the scratch. There is the lack of skills, there's the lack of knowledge, which is one of the barriers which you'll find in women economic empowerment, the lack of information. How am I supporting, hi Lillian, how am I supporting these young women to be able to have this information on how to navigate the aspect of a business, of to establish a business in Kenya. So we have been able to work to scale, to work with the county government or the government of Kenya to come into partnership to be able to be doing this capacity building, because we encourage our youths to be in groups so that they can be able to get the benefits of being in a group. They have a better market share, or they can be able to negotiate for their prices. So being in groups at the first, can we form these youths to be in groups? And then can we engage the social services in Kenya to be able to work or reach these groups, to train them and even give them the capacity or give them the information how to maneuver to grow their business. There's the aspect of registration, how much is needed, how far can I go as a young youth. There's the aspect of financing in a business for the youth. There's the youth fund. How are they able to access it? We need to let this information flow. Because being at the rural, we work with the businesses at the rural area. These youths are at the rural. The Android aspect may be very high here in Accra, in the urban area. But how is it at the ground level? We need to network with our focal people on the ground, how they'll be able to share this information to our youth and even empower them as the young people on the ground. So for me, the partnerships are key. Again, we will not be able to do this again. We have a mandate or we have a project to do, which is short-lived, but how can we make it sustainable? Projects are usually very short running. Does it mean when to scale is done that youth inclusion or women economic empowerment is done? No. Let's create the ground networks at the bottom there, then grow them, and in a point where the program is ending, there's other people taking charge, the linkages of the finances, the county government. People are not leaving, program will leave, right? But the people on the ground will always be there, and you'll always need someone else to carry them forward. And as well as my colleague has mentioned, partnerships, the mentoring, the coaching sessions, and can we create platforms to bring these people together to learn from each other, which is very vocal. We are currently running inclusive agribusiness clubs in to-scale program, bringing together different actors in the program to be able to know what they are doing and what are the areas of synergies which they can be able to work together. This alone is already a sustainable way to ensure young women are able to be reached and even we can be able to see opportunities to grow them as young women in agribusiness.
Poser la question à notre entrepreneur au Mali. Est-ce que tu penses que pour que ton entreprise continue à grandir, à croître, par exemple, quels sont les soutiens que tu penses que tu peux avoir besoin? Par exemple, si tu devrais, par exemple, communiquer aux autres par rapport à ton entreprise, et voilà les endroits où tu verrais peut-être un soutien, et puis aussi comment tu vas continuer à engager d'autres jeunes avec toi.
Ok. Bon, comme après Java créé l'entreprise a été créée depuis 2015, donc mais officiellement reconnu en 2023. Donc après avoir identifié les difficultés enfrentent les petits ruminants et les grands ruminants, surtout les jeunes des périurbains des grandes villes, exemple comme Bamako, dont les animaux est très difficile d'avoir accès au pâturage. Donc la diminution du pâturage par l'urbanisation a créé beaucoup de difficultés et les gens aujourd'hui, les gens ne pratiquent plus l'élevage traditionnel. Donc le changement a fait que tout le monde a essayé d'aller vers l'élevage intensif, donc, qui est saisonnier, donc les animaux n'ont pas pu d'avoir le fourrage. De cette difficulté qui m'a amené d'aller vers culture forage. On a une superficie de 6 hectares. En installé, on a déjà aménagé 1 hectare sur les herbes de forage comme les espaces, les variétés, herbes éléphants et les palicons maximum. Donc pour pouvoir produire et les transformer en ensilage. Et on intervient également dans la commercialisation d'ensilage de 50 kg dans les sacs et des matières sèches et des semences de différentes variétés comme synthèse et les boutures des arbres éléphants dont les besoins et les partenaires pour pouvoir augmenter ça pour avoir beaucoup de production. Donc on a besoin pour aménager 4 hectares, 1 hectare en arbre éléphant et 0,025 en synthèse et en panicum maximum et de stockage. Voilà.
Donc, c'est-à-dire que tu as besoin des fonds de roulement pour que tu puisses accroître ton entreprise. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this, and in the interest of our time, I think we are going to have a session for 2 or 3 questions, but this will include the previous panel as well. So I hope you've noted down some of your burning questions and that you can be able now to share those with us.
Merci beaucoup. Je vais parler en français. Ma question s'adresse au premier panéliste. Depuis qu'on a commencé le forum, c'est de parler souvent de difficultés d'accès aux finances, de difficultés d'accès au marché. Mais quand je regarde un peu sur les modèles d'entreprises qui ont émergé de l'accompagnement de ToScale, on voit que pour la question d'accès au marché, il y a beaucoup d'initiatives qui ont été développées pour résorber ce problème. Je serais intéressé de savoir, pour les questions d'accès aux finances, quelles sont les initiatives qui ont été développées parce qu'aucune entreprise puisse émerger et puis atteindre ce stade-là, il y a forcément un besoin de financement et un besoin de capitalisation et de ressources en fait extérieures à mobiliser. Ça peut être intéressant pour nous d'avoir des cas de succès.
He was asking about the access to finance aspect with ToScale program. What are the initiatives around and what are the facilitations that the program was put in place?
Alors, au niveau de ToScale, d'abord, il y a l'aspect inclusion financière. Donc, cette inclusion financière qui essaie d'accompagner l'ensemble des acteurs du partenariat à avoir accès au financement classique ou à imaginer des formes de financement alternatifs. Donc, quand je prends le cas du partenariat, you want to translate?
He was talking about what are the initiatives already there. So there are initiatives that are facilitating different value chain actors to have either formal access to finance or facilitation or come together to see how they address the challenges that are pertaining to access to finance.
Alors, pour le partenariat de lutte, qu'est-ce que nous avons fait? Au niveau de la base des producteurs, pour les producteurs individuels, c'était difficile pour eux d'avoir accès à une structure de financement parce que parfois les exploitations sont très petites.
Donc, for the smallholder farmers, initially it was difficult because based on the size of their land, having access to finance was a challenge. Especially when you look at groups like women, where you have a small plot of land, it's quite difficult for you to mobilize a microfinance to come and provide them with services.
Ok, je voulais ajouter un peu à ce que M. Sawadou a dit. Voilà, c'est avec les rencontres et avec les IMF que l'idée a vraiment changé parce que il faut que les institutions financières puissent connaître l'idée du projet, l'idée de l'activité de façon générale, concrètement, qu'est-ce que ça génère. C'est ce qu'il a précisé, que ce sont des banques commerciales en fait. Merci.
What he was saying is that also bankers need to understand your business idea because in agriculture sometimes you find that the business idea is not understood because these are commercial banks and sometimes it doesn't fit well with the agribusiness business ideas.
Thank you so much. My question goes to the earlier panelist. There was one who was saying that ToScale has to provide them with seedlings where they were producing vegetables and tomatoes. I want to ask the question, do they always depend on ToScale to get them the seedlings every planting season, or were they able to also develop their own way of making the seeds after the support of ToScale? The second question is that what are the core mandate of TUSCALE and who qualifies to benefit from their facility? Thank you.
In the beginning of the program in 2019, the second phase, there was an opportunity for all businesses in the country to work to react on a call for proposals. And people have to come. This is for the what we call the business champion, which are generally the transformers or the input suppliers, bigger companies that want to develop an end-user's business. And they have to come with an idea. And with that idea, we developed together with them, we brokered a sort of partnership with all the actors around. That's what TUSCALE is about. It's about partnership. So it's not only about one processor or one input supplier, but we built a partnership with the farmers. On local level, it's what we call the agribusiness clusters. Then we link them up with the processors, and we go to the end markets. And it's all done in partnership. So it's not that the program is delivering seedlings or whatever. No, we broke a partnership, we facilitate, we train, we connect people and institutions to make it work. And of course, that needs capacity building, and as you know, capacity building costs money, and that's why part of the money that we get from the Dutch taxpayers is used for that. And that's what our staff is doing, and that's what we do also with subcontractors and consultants. But of course, in the end, it should be driven, this inclusive business should be driven by the sector itself. I mean, the project is coming and going, so in the end, it should be about sustainable agribusiness. Well, that's in short. If you want more detailed information, come back to one of me or one of our colleagues to get more about it. But that's in short, I will not go into deep. And of course, we hope we are at the end of this phase of the program. It's still 1 year to go, so we are more or less wrapping up and handing over. And we are negotiating a third phase in which we will build more the ecosystem. That's the planning, the ecosystem, so that local incubators, somewhere on the table here, can take up the function that we are running now as a program. That's in short.
With that, I think we come to the end of our session. And thank you very much for attending these sessions. And I hope you've gained more information on our partnership and the way companies are creating employment and entrepreneurship. For more information, you can visit our webpage, but also we are on social media, we are on YouTube, especially for the 2 videos. We are going to upload those on our YouTube channel, so you can be able to go and look at them. And we have also a digital platform, which also you can access. And for those ones who want more information, you can reach out to us. We can be able to assist you as applicable. Thank you very much.